and good morning. You are back with the crew. Thanks for spending some quality time with me. I know your time's precious, and I do appreciate you watching our videos. That's Goldie here with me here this morning. Bruno's right there. He's not far. Today I want to talk, and I want to address some questions that I keep getting. When I talk about ETFs, everybody says, oh, that's just for Bitcoin. No, it's not just for Bitcoin. And they say, okay, well, Bitcoin's going to go through the roof and all the other coins are going to zero. No, that's not going to happen either. What's going to happen here, guys? We've talked about this. When the tide comes in, all boats go up, right? There's something going on here that's really big that I think a lot of people are missing. And that is when you understand what we've been through over the last year, okay? There was about a year ago now, right? FTX, scam, bankman fraud, all that whole mess, okay? All of it. All the lies and the manipulation and the corruption. Let's face facts. The man was our current president, the United States, current president's number 2 donor. I mean, they didn't do any due diligence. Like, the CIA didn't know. Come on, really? Don't we have 40,000 people in the Pentagon? And they had no idea this kid was just a rip-off artist? Really? I mean, does anybody in America even believe that still? And now he's on trial, making a big mockery of crypto. They're in deep, guys. And now here's why they're in deep. And I'm going to get back to what I think about the ETF. Trust me, I will. Here's what's going on. They threw the book at it. They corrupted actors and the #1 football player, and they did all these commercials on Super Bowl Sunday, and they threw every form of corruption, of media level corruption they could do. They've been a decade of smashing it in the Bloomberg and MSNBC every single morning, destroying Bitcoin. I talk to people that are so brainwashed about crypto that they look at me and laugh in my face when I tell them, hey, I'm investing in that. And I look at them and they think I'm the stupidest person on the planet when I see, wait a minute, the #1 investment in the history of mankind so far has been Bitcoin. Hello? The thing's gone up like 80 million times. Yeah, 80 million. Look it up. It's ridiculous. Nothing has done that. Nothing. Okay? In an investment world. They have done everything they can to crush it. Let's just look at a couple of facts. Okay, they did what? They threw all these futures markets at it. And every time they opened a new futures market, they crushed it. Every time they had one of these fake ETFs, which is nothing more than just money printing to throw a bigger number at, controlling something that's physical, but never actually taking physical possession of the coin, they actually just, well, we plan on buying a bunch of Bitcoin, so we're going to short it today. We're going to sell it down and make it go down. But they never actually transact or ever have to buy the coin. Well, that has kept the market down. And by the way, they currently are, yes, suppressing this market. They're suppressing the entire market. There's no question about that. Okay. When you look at the fact that people lost, theoretically, billions of dollars with the fraud that happened over the last year and a half. Okay? Isn't it interesting? Nobody ever came to the bailing the losers out of FTX. Why didn't we get a bailout? Why did they get to pick and choose who gets bailed out? Why do banks get bailed out? And then all of a sudden, Signature Bank and all these other banks, okay, Silicon Valley Bank goes under, and all those people get a bailout. But you see, you're not a citizen enough to get that. You don't rank, right? We didn't need their money. We don't need their bailout. They were trying to destroy this thing. Why is there, okay, many of you don't know this, for a very long time, there was all of us who knew anything about economics and the trading markets have been calling, hey, you guys are protecting the plunge. Every time it starts to really crash, you stop it from happening. They lied about it. We called them out for decades. Oh, you're stopping this. You're corrupting the system. It's not a fair trading platform. For decades, we said they were doing it. And then finally, they came out and said, well, we've formed a plunge protection team. They had that there the whole time. They controlled the market. Okay. Crypto doesn't have a plunge protection team. Why not? We don't need one. Why doesn't it go to zero? Why doesn't it crash to the bottom? Do you know how low 95% of all the stocks would be if there wasn't a plunge protection team? And if they didn't distribute all of those stocks, like the Dow 30 and all of the S&P, all of those, there's 4 or 5 companies holding the whole thing up because they group them all into one ball. Crypto doesn't have that advantage. Each crypto has to hold it on its own. We haven't formed mutual funds or groupings of 30 different coins to create the Dow. All of that is support and strength for stocks. And they know this. So they've done everything. They've given you nothing. They've not bailed you out. They've thrown the book at you. They've had this clown, Mr. Burns, coming after all of us for multitude of ignorant reasons, okay? Losing his tail in court, even in an appeal, okay, with Grayscale. And now all of a sudden they've decided, maybe we should embrace this and do what we do best. And in my opinion, that is create a bubble. And when they create bubbles, they don't do small bubbles. They do very large bubbles. And all you need to do is look back to 1999. I know it's before most of yours time, but I was around and I was following the NASDAQ and they blew a massive bubble. And when they did and when it popped, you didn't want to own the 2,500th coin or company. You didn't want to own pets.com. You wanted to own what? The blue chips. How do you know what the blue chips are? Thankfully, we've had 10 or 15 years to sort that out. You should know by now what the blue chips are. We talk about them on this channel all the time, but I think the top 10 are totally safe and probably the top 50 to 100. And anyway, you know where I'm going with that. When you look at the .coms that failed, it wasn't the Amazons. I'm going to call Amazon like your Bitcoin or your XRP or whatever coin you think is absolutely bulletproof at the top is your Amazon. So when this tide goes up this next time, okay, remember, this tide will go up so fast and so hard for Bitcoin, it's only going to pull the quality coins up with it. And really stay with me on this because this is really a fine point I'm trying to explain to you. It's only going to be the XLMs and the XDCs and your file coins. You know, the top 50 great projects with real teams, with real staff, with real data, with real code, with real social backing, okay, are going to survive that. And I know it sounds crazy, but this skyrocketing parabolic move, asymmetrical move that is coming, and when that move comes, everybody who's getting in new is going to get in late, as you and I already know, but what they're going to do is they're going to try and take the coins at the very bottom and they're going to purchase the pets.com. And it's sad. It's really, really sad. Because that parabolic move that I'm talking about will be like your dot-com bubble crash. It will skyrocket up because they are going to pump so much liquidity and so much money into this market, and that time is coming very soon. You're not going to want to have an obscure coin. I teach this all the time. You're going to want more than one coin. I know if you're an XRP guy, you hate Bitcoin. I'm okay with that. You don't have to own Bitcoin. I'm not telling you to do that. But own more than XRP. Okay, scatter in a little Cardano or something else. Okay, don't just buy ISO coins. That's my personal opinion, not financial advice. However, you have that opportunity coming, and now I'm going to talk about that ETF. Why that was so important to bring up over the last few videos. It's going to rise the tide for everybody, and we know that. Do I think XRP is probably going to multiply faster than Bitcoin? Yes. Will it right away? No, it will not. However, it always takes the tail end of that. When Bitcoin tops out, that's when the altcoins, people sell their Bitcoins and they sell them and they put them into your XRPs. That's when those are going to get the big bump, as we know. When do I think that's coming? I think it's coming somewhere in the first of 2024 to the middle of 2024. If I were to, on the outside, I'd say a year from now. On the short side, I'd say somewhere around July, August. That's what I think. Why? Let's go over the reasons why I believe that's when you're going to see your big bull market. We have more downturn ahead of us. We have more pain. We have more recession, if you will. And yes, we've been in one. And no, I don't believe anything that they say about the employment numbers, and they're all corrupted. And anything that you see from the media about the economics is rubbish. That's as politely as I can put it. I don't believe in any of it. I don't even support channels that talk about what the mainstream media is talking about. What's the point? I don't get it. Anyway, my personal opinion, I'm not here to tell you what to use as your life information. Why do I think it's going to boom next year? Well, let's see. We have an election year. Okay, boom, yeah. We've had them raise rates faster than any other time in the history, okay? Where our rates are higher than supposedly the inflation number, which is really key for them, and they think they have it under control. No, they don't. But so that's a bonus. They have a lot of ammunition stored up because of this, okay? Number 4, the amount of money in which they're going to have to interject into the system, or liquidity. It's not just money. It's not money, actually. It's currency, and it's not even currency. It's more about digits and freeing up bankers to lend and distribute funds in any manner that you can imagine. They will. That's number 4. Number 5, they're going to put it directly. They've made you suffer through pain over the last year and a half, okay? And to do all this, that's when they're going to give it to you directly. Do I think they're going to try a CBDC? Probably. Do I think it's going to succeed? I've done numerous videos on that. No, I don't think it's going to happen like that. So they're going to interject possibly a CBDC or some form of socialized money system that goes directly from the Fed to you. That's coming. Do I think it's going to happen next year? Maybe. But it is the 5th on the list. But the biggest thing that I haven't even mentioned of all of that is it's an election year. The election year tells you about all you need to know. All of those 6 things I just mentioned are lining up to be a ridiculous amount of bull liquidity coming to you and I. Will it take maybe a year? Could go into 2025 before the top of the bull? Clearly it could. It truly could. But the combination of all those things, I didn't even get into AI, I didn't even get into other things, all of that matters on a financial level to you and I because you and I own an asset in which they are planning to blow the bubble into. They can blow a bubble into AI. I think that's the next bubble, not this bubble. Okay? They are desperate to spend trillions of dollars and they don't know how. But let's talk again about the next few months. It's going to go down and it's going to get worse before it gets better, because that is the cycle in which the Federal Reserve and central bankers control the economic flow of the world. There are people, nations, in particular BRICS, that are seeing through this, and they're tired of playing the Ponzi scheme, which is central banking. Those nations are trying to go more to a mercantile style of trade. In other words, real assets, real labor, real nutrients coming from the ground, real crops being raised, okay? Instead of a fake society built upon Hollywood and a story of them telling you what great people they are and how smart they are and what financial geniuses they all are in Wall Street and London and New York, when really they don't accomplish anything, they don't do anything, they don't manufacture anything, and they don't create a damn thing other than giant bubbles in which they prosper from. Then they crash them, then they buy them back, and then they blow the bubble again. There are people seeing through this scheme, so therefore, do I think this bubble is going to be the last one? It could possibly be. It could possibly be. But people that are telling you that we're going to go into a dark, deep recession, depression for a decade, aren't understanding the fact that they've set themselves up for a perfect timing on everything that I just named. Those 6 things are coming to us next year, very soon. So it could be a deep, dark, cold winter. I believe that to be true, but I believe by next summer, people are going to want to get out and spend money and create an economy, and I think they're going to push that narrative. Now, let's remember, guys, everything's a narrative, so whatever narrative they plan for us next, 90% of the people on the planet are just going to go with the narrative. They're going to, oh, that's what I'm supposed to think today. But you and I talk about what's coming, not what happened yesterday. So I don't follow the news. The news is old. It should be called old. If you can't see where the puck is going, you're lost. You can't play the game. All right. I hope you got something from that. I really enjoy these videos that I get to do, and I get so many great comments and feedback. And I have another way that you can contact and you can get a hold of me, and you can get me, my son, and my wife on thestaplecrew.info. So look me up there, guys. Hope to see you guys soon, and I am out. So I'm talking to this guy the other day, and he says to me, yeah, you know, that whole thing in Israel, yeah, that's World War III. That's the starting of World War III. And I said, huh. I said, do you watch TV? Oh, yeah, yeah. So they're selling that? Is that where you heard that? Right, yeah. I thought to myself, you know, I thought you were smarter than that. Well, I don't know what you mean. I said, why would you believe anything that box tells you? Well, it's the news. That's, you know, wait, I that's what's happening. They just blew up Israel. Did they bomb your house? No, they didn't, did they? Did they tell you to hate somebody at the end or during that broadcast? Like, I don't know, did they find a boogeyman somewhere? Or did they stop and look back and say, hey, we're going to really look into this matter and find out why those people bombed that city? No. No, they immediately went to that. What else did they do? Oh, Iran was behind it all. Yeah. Good old Iran. Yeah. Those people are the root of all evil. Yeah. Look out, kids. Look out. There's one answer to this whole thing. You and I are all related. Period. We are all mankind. We're not a uniform. We are not a color. We are not a religion. We are all mankind and womankind. You are walking pure light and love. That's why I end my shows with, I love you all very much. See you soon.